call to order this regularly scheduled March 16th, 2023 school board meeting. We would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I get a motion and a second. Approval of the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Next item on the agenda is the educational feature.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Jessica Morris. She's Director of Special Ed. She has information she's gonna share with y'all this evening.
Thank y'all for having me. I know compared to some of our other educational features, this is not as exciting. But I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you guys about our special education annual plan tonight, and I hope not to take up too much of your time. So we received something called flow-through funding. So the federal government has funds that they give the Commonwealth of Virginia that they give us. Those funds are from the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So that's our federal special education money. So every year the Commonwealth of Virginia has us local school divisions do a plan and describe what we're going to spend the money on. Report it to the board. We also talk to our special education advisory committee, and so we're starting that process. There are multiple components to the annual plan. There's a lot of certifications and assurances and signatures and whatnot. There is a part of the plan that applies if you have a jail within your jurisdiction. We do not, so we don't have to do that part. Part of it is an implementation report. So if last year I said I was using my money on 5 special education teachers, this year I'll go back and say, yes, I used my money for what I said I would. It also covers something called maintenance of effort. David Thompson and I work really closely on this. This is there's several really complex formulas that just kind of boil down to we can't take these federal dollars and stop using local funds. So like if we spend $5,000 on every student out of our money, we can't be like, well, Jessica's in special ed, so we'll just use $5,000 from special ed. It has to be in addition. There's also something called early intervening services and proportionate set-aside. We actually do participate in proportionate set-aside, so I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then really the biggest part of the annual plan is what are you going to do with the money. Section 611 is school age. Section 619 is for preschoolers. We are not required to do what is called coordinated early intervening services. That sometimes happens if your division isn't meeting a lot of the indicators and data. The state will say you have to take some of your special education money and fund certain positions and things like that. That doesn't apply to us, but we are required to do something called a proportionate set aside. So in every division, we have students who are eligible for special education and their parents choose to place them outside of public school. So for example, in our school division, we have a private school, Jefferson Christian Academy, so a lot of our parentally placed students are there. We go through a process where periodically you meet with the private school and discuss things, but when we get our IDEA funding, we have to set aside a percentage of that to provide some kind of services to parentally placed children. So we, like most other school divisions, use that set aside money to provide speech therapy for students who are parentally placed. Those students get a service plan and not an individualized education plan. Students who are in our school system, we're responsible for the whole free appropriate public education. When you place your student outside the school system, we do still give you service, but we're not obligated to give you the same services to the same amount. Like, so for example, there could be a student who gets speech therapy at private school, but if they were coming to public school, we might serve them for something like a specific learning disability or characteristics of autism. We report our percentage and what we do with that through the annual plan. For our Section 611 school age, we get approximately $553,000. This is one of those things where we do the plan on last year's money, and then after it's all done, they tell us we usually get a little bit of an increase. Our plan is pretty simple because we use all of our Section 611 for employees. We use it for employee salaries and for the fringe benefits that are on top of their salary. We do have one behavior facilitator position that was new this year. We fund 4 special education teachers and 13 special education assistants. So pretty clear cut, that's what we use that for. For Section 619 preschool, we get a lot less money in early childhood. We get about $16,000. We use it for a couple different things, for assistant services in preschool, professional development for preschool staff, and then because we have a lot of children that are in community or natural placements in preschool, so like say you were going to go to Head Start and you need services, well, we want to go to Head Start and give you those services because that's an inclusive environment. We have itinerant personnel that go to different schools, go to different daycare, so we use some of that grant funding to kind of cover those costs. And that, in a very quick nutshell, is the annual plan. Any questions or concerns?
How many times do you have to go through an audit on this? And you just went through an audit, right?
So the new cyclical monitoring is supposed to be on like a 5-year schedule. So we'll do it this year, and then 5 years from now, they'll do it again.
Right.
It will be interesting to see because things change. Like in 5 years, will it actually be the same process? Will it be a little bit different process? And this is one thing that they, that is on that audit, you have to show that you do the annual plan, and they actually look at some of the documentation where we do maintenance of effort and things like that.
So that's just to ensure everything is done exactly correct.
Mm-hmm.
Dot the i's,
Dot
cross
the
the t's.
Oh, I did want to mention while I have kind of like a public forum, so the Special Education Advisory Committee, I mentioned that they are part of the annual plan. We do have a Special Education Advisory Committee, and really anybody that is interested in special education services for students in Johnson County is welcome to come. Our next meeting is actually, I think April 12th is a Wednesday. We do a lot of our meetings virtually, so it can be convenient for people. And if you're interested in these kinds of things and what we use our funding on and things like that, it's a good opportunity to know more about it.
I think a lot of people should, because it's a whole different, it's a different world, it seems,
Well, Virginia is actually one of the only states that requires localities to have advisory committees, but over the past 3 or 4 years, the public interest in them has really, it's really dwindled from where it was, so it can be hard to get folks excited to come to an advisory committee.
Where do they find a link or a way to be part of those meetings, Jessica? Is that something that?
We will post in advance of the meetings on Facebook. At some point, I think we put the whole agenda in the paper at the beginning of the year. We do have a link under special education on our website.
Okay.
If people have general questions and want to call the board office, I technically function as the advisor to the Special Education Advisory Committee. Christy Gordon at Eastern is our lead, and then Amy Wheeler is the secretary, so they really do the bulk of that work.
Well, thank you for what you do. The folks that heard this very short presentation have no idea of all the intricacies and complicated paperwork that you have to keep track of, and it only takes a couple of those to get twisted around the axle before you get attention. Other than that, everybody just assumes everything's going great, so.
No news is good news
Yeah,
in
that's
special
right.
education. I couldn't do it without my staff. We have amazing special educators and assistants and folks in this county. They're dedicated, they want to learn more and change and do things, so whenever I'm like, I'll just call one of them and they shore me right up.
Can we ask a question? How many times can you try to get someone in your program?
Do we answer questions at a board meeting?
I don't.
That's okay, I can meet with you later.
Sabrina, why don't you call
I'll
and talk with her, please?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can talk. Call my office. And that's all I have. Thank you guys for your time, and now I'm gonna see if I can switch off of this without closing the live stream.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments. The Giles County School Board welcomes the public to its meetings and offers individuals an opportunity to address the board during public comments. Citizens are asked to follow the guidelines as established in the school division's regulations KD-R/BDDH-R. Please refrain from discussing personnel items or naming specific students during your public comments. For the record, please state your name and the subject of your remarks. Public comments are limited to 4 minutes per speaker unless prior approval has been given to waive the designated time limit. I'll be asking Dr. Arbogast to keep the time in clear sight of each of our public speakers. The first public speaker signed up is Mr. Brian Bowles.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening. Tonight I address you as a father, a citizen, and the principal of Nares High School. I've worked with each of you for at least 5 years and thankful for the privilege to serve as leader of such outstanding students and dedicated staff. I'm here to ask a simple question. What problem are we trying to solve with the consolidation discussion? I know I get asked that question often, and I thought I would ask the source. As a matter of fact, I spend as much time answering those questions at work than any other question I answer. Teachers, staff, stakeholders, and students all are concerned with this topic. They love the school and the sense of belonging that it provides. Tonight, I want to mention 4 areas that I believe are the foundation for why consolidation would be harmful for our students. Not that long ago, COVID was all we talked about. For 2 years, it altered everything we did. The negative impact of COVID on our students exists and will for many years to come. The learning loss for our students is so significant that we will likely have to deal with it for at least the next decade. If you ask anyone that works in an administrative role in the school system, they will likely share with you the increased concern they have for the mental health of their students. I have over 25 years of experience as a teacher, a coach, and a school administrator. The increased issues that are being faced by schools in regards to mental health are staggering. Consider the following. According to the Center for Disease Control, suicide has become the 2nd leading cause of death for children ages 10 to 14. In a study featured in Education Week, more than 1/3 of the children who tested positive for COVID-19 were diagnosed with a a new mental health disorder within 30 days. The massive pandemic disruptions may have prematurely aged teenagers' brains by 3 to 4 years in its first months, in the same way severe trauma can change children's brain development. It is clear to me as a professional that deals with students daily that stress, anxiety, and depression are now the most critical barriers to learning in the post-pandemic world. Now is a crucial time for stability and support within our schools. We are going to be playing catch-up for a long time. The last thing I feel we need to do is completely alter the landscape of public education in Giles County. I have witnessed so many students come out of their shell during my 7 years at Nares High School. They feel comfortable enough to take risks that lead to significant growth in their self-esteem and confidence. They try out for teams or join clubs that allow them to get involved in such a way that they could never have imagined. They took the initiative to put themselves out there and risk failure. The opportunities to get involved will drop significantly if we were to consolidate. This will lead to fewer students experiencing that personal growth that will be so vital to their success as an adult. When you increase the number of students in a school by a significant number, you are decreasing the number of opportunities for all students. There are only so many basketball and volleyball jerseys, only so many seats at a table at a MAC match, and only so many roles in the school play. Many people think bigger is better. Try telling that to the student who gets lost in the crowd and never reaches their full potential. Sometimes the player needs the team more than the team needs the player. Speaking of initiative, I have visited 3 different colleges over the past few months with my senior daughter. Wish her a happy 18th birthday today. She's playing tennis as we speak. And the theme that I keep hearing was that they want their students to demonstrate initiative. They want them to speak up, find their own internships, and get involved in their communities. I can assure you that it will become more difficult to demonstrate initiative when you increase the number of students in the building. I want all students to be successful and find their voice, and consolidation does not promote growth. I will close with how I started. What problem are we trying to solve with consolidation? Learning loss, mental health, and limiting opportunities will all adversely affect our children. Thank you.
Ms. Bolton.
Thank you. Happy birthday to your daughter.
The time management on that was absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
1 second to spare, so. The next speaker signed up is Jane Garrett.
Oh,
She may not make it in time.
Oh, okay,
She was gonna try.
okay. And as always, we encourage folks from the public to sign up with Miss Amanda ahead of time, or even once you get here, if you decide you want to speak, as long as you sign up before we start. You're welcome to your 4 minutes. The next item on the agenda is approval of the consent items, which include meeting minutes, bills, payroll, revenue expenditure reports, appropriation requests, field trips, surplus items, and approval of consent items.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any question about any of the consent items? All those in favor? Dr. Armagas?
Thanks, sir. This time I have some personnel items I need to ask the board to confirm. Need to ask the board to confirm the following athletic coaching contracts. Patrick Bailey, Nares High School JV baseball coach. Ben Woodyard, Nares High School weightlifting. Kirsten Schrader, Nares High School middle school track coach. Cameron Lowe, Nares High School middle school soccer coach. Dakota Schrader, Nares High School head track coach. Kelly Davis, Nares High School assistant softball coach. Danielle Williams, Nares High School head softball coach. Josh Sparks, Nares High School boys tennis coach. Chris Helby, Nares High School head boys basketball coach. Alicia Lane, Nares High School girls tennis coach. Jennifer Clark, Nares High School girls tennis coach. David Thompson, Nares High School head soccer coach. Bradley McLaughlin, Nares High School assistant baseball coach. Jay Smith, Nares High School assistant soccer coach. Marina Rose, Giles High School JV softball head coach. Ben Miller, Giles High School varsity boys soccer head coach. Mallory Lucas, Giles High School track assistant. Daryl Lucas, Giles High School track assistant. Sam Wright, Giles High School track head coach. Steve Wilson, Giles High School baseball head coach. Stephen Malik, Giles High School varsity girls soccer head coach. Matt Burns, Giles High School baseball assistant. Todd Kellison, Giles High School soccer assistant. Randy Weddle, girls tennis coach at Giles High School. Derek Snyder, Giles High School varsity softball head coach. And Jeff Duncan, Narrows High School JV softball coach.
I'll make that motion.
I think I got them all.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve the following volunteer agreements. Emily Buckland, Narrows High School soccer. Coda McLaughlin, Narrows High School baseball. Ethan Lowe, Narrows High School baseball. Chucky Buracker, Narrows High School baseball. Jason McCroskey, Narrows High School baseball. Deborah Taylor, Mason McClary chaperone. Kayla Muncy, Giles High School chaperone. Charlie Herbert, Giles High School FFA. Brian McGuire, NHS track. Chris Shea, Narrows High School softball coach. Jennifer Grube, Giles High School chaperone. And Melissa Duncan, Narrows High School softball.
Abstain from any discussion or voting due to personal conflict of interest on the volunteer agreements.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve the following employment. Rachel Carnes, School Board Office Executive Secretary, effective March 6th. And the transfer of Caitlin Thorne from Mason McClarty Middle School Special Education Teacher to Narrows High School ITRT position for the 23-24 school year.
I'll make a motion to approve those employment agreements.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve the following resignations. Caitlin Harvey, Mason McClarty preschool teacher at the end of the 22-23 school year. Kiara Lewis, Mason McClarty teacher assistant, effective March 13th. And Haley Gillespie, a Mason McClarty teacher assistant, effective March 29th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Now I need to ask the board to approve a couple different bids. First one I need to ask the board to approve is the IFB 4-2023, IFB 5-2023, and IFB 6-2023. These are for vehicles for the special education department.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
No second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve the rollover of RFP number 4-2018. That's the maintenance of school elevators and lifts. Currently it's with Tyson Krupp Elevator Corporation, and this is the last year of the 3 possible one-year rollovers. And prices will increase from the current rate of $325.26 to $336.65 per month. And that's effective May 1st, 23 through June 30th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve that bid.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Have we had any problems? We hadn't heard anything.
No, knock on wood, no.
Yeah. We used to about the lift.
Ever. All the time.
Is that a monthly charge, whether they provide a service or not?
Is per month, and I think they can inspect them.
So we get, they do something every month? Okay.
They're not charging us extra unless they're doing actual repair work.
The actual cost, any additional cost would be if they have to.
I sure had so many problems.
Base parts or whatever.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve the RFP 7-2023. That is the bid for Narrows Elementary Middle School's integrated intercom system upgrade and improvements. quote was for, as we shared with you on Tuesday at the work session, $90,114.92. That's to replace, upgrade the system, the main system in the office. And quote 3 that you see there, the add alternate is $21,290. That's to replace all speakers, but we won't necessarily need to replace all speakers, so we'll replace speakers as necessary. And there is a unit price for the speakers.
Make a motion, we approve that RFP.
Second. Got a motion, second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Need to ask the board to approve RFP 3 2023 A for gym floor refinishing. This is gonna be for screening the floors and applying 2 coats of oil finish. You see the quotes there. Quote 1 is for for Eastern, Giles, Nares, and Nares Elementary, total of $14,320. Quote 2 is Macy's is $2,800. That's, again, we did it that way because we weren't sure where we were gonna be in the process with the HVAC upgrade, renovations, et cetera, roof renovations, and what they have going on in the gym, and whether they could get in the gym to do such work, and we didn't want them to do it if they had to be in there and then end up scratching it up and have to go do it again. Quote 3 is the stage area at Macy. Again, we did it the same reason I just shared. And quote 4 was for the stage at Giles High School and refinishing the stage at Nares High School, screen it and put finish on it.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion?
I know one time we talked about like going all the way down and painting.
We put the bid out prior to this, and when we got information back, we didn't get bids because they couldn't get us on the schedule to do the painting.
Okay, because I knew we
this summer.
had planned on trying to do a school at a time.
And that was the goal, so we put it out in January, is that correct, the first time? So what we will end up doing next year is we'll probably back it up a month and put it out in December.
Okay,
To make sure we get on the schedule.
okay.
We just need to think less about budget, if we think we can use enough to get 2 down to Bearwood, since we missed this year, I don't know, we just have to.
It would have been, what we would have had, if we were not doing the HVAC renovation and roof at Macy, we would have tried to do Nares Elementary and Macy.
Okay.
All the way down, is what we would have tried to do.
Yeah, because we got that little bit of damage.
Right.
Nares got that little section that we need to get repaired, and.
I knew those 2 schools were
Yeah,
needed.
that was the goal, but when they told us they couldn't get us on the schedule, we had to back up and we need to make sure we at least get them resealed to make sure that they're.
So how much time do they want to be, when is how much sooner did they want to be, did they want us to come to them?
Did they really say?
December, if we can put this out right after
Okay.
Thanksgiving. We put this out at the normal time that we usually do,
Right,
and, I think I sent it to 13 vendors. I got 1 response, and that response was no bid on everything, because they could pretty much do everything, but they didn't have the manpower to come in and do the painting for Nares Elementary, so they just kind of scratched everything. When we put it out to rebid, we just to rescreen, or just screen and recoat, and we had to loosen our schedule up a little bit. I tried to get the high schools done during the dead period,
right.
and they just couldn't do it, so I had to back off of that. I coordinated with our ADs, and they're fine as long as they know the schedule. I would recommend moving forward that we do Nares Elementary Middle down to Bearwood, repaint, because they're done with the upgrade to the HVAC. I would hold off on Macy until after we do our renovation for HVAC and the roof, because they will have to get lifts in there.
Okay.
we know it has to be done, but it's no use to do it and have to go back and repair or mess something up.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
And I need to ask the board to approve the rollover of RFP number 2-2019. That's the Fire Protection Services. Currently it's with Eastern Fire and Alarm Technologies. Again, this is the last year of 3 possible 1-year rollovers, and the prices will remain the same. That'll be effective April 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2024.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
As we do each year, around this time, we ask the board to approve the educational technology resolution. That's a requirement we've got to do to declare that we're going to reimburse ourselves from the proceeds that we get from the state for the technology grant. So basically the same thing we do each year. And that's $180,000 that we get.
I'll make a motion that we approve the education technology resolution as presented. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
If I remember correctly, Mr. White, during the school board retreat, shared with us the request to offer new courses, a business management class, a career investigations class, and an entrepreneurship class. So at this time, I would ask the board to approve those courses so we can offer those to our students.
Make a motion, we approve the new courses.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Also, during our work session on Tuesday, we shared with you, stemming from the audit with Title I, that we needed to add a regulation in there to our policy manual. So you were provided a regulation DJF-R to be added. So at this time, I would ask the board to approve that policy. Basically, as a regulation that states prohibits us aiding and abetting sexual abuse.
I'll make a motion that we approve proposed new regulation DJF-R.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Not that we would aid and abet without the regulation, but
That's what I told Mr. Steele prior. I think that would be common sense, but. At this time, I'd ask, you've been provided the draft copy of the 23-24 school year calendar. We've discussed it a couple times. It has been posted on our website and asked for public comment. We have not received any comments back on it. So at this time, I would ask the board to approve that calendar for next year.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Are there any significant changes from the past year?
No, sir, not really. I think the biggest change, the biggest thing you'll see is we're probably around the Christmas break. We go right up to December 22nd, and we return on January 8th. This year, when we returned from Christmas break, we had a teacher work day, if you recall. In this plan, there is not a teacher work day. When we come back on January 8th, it will be a regular school day.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
We'll keep going along unless you go.
Yes, sir.
Some other updated information. Enrollment as of yesterday, our enrollment was 2,195. That's 2,183 in-person students in the county, plus 12 in-county virtual students. That is the same number that I think I shared with you from the end of February. We also have 1,302 stride students, so we have a total of 3,497 students. I don't believe I've had the opportunity to share with you and recognize some of our students from from the Technology Center. We had some students participate in the District Skills USA competition a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to share those with you. We had students participate from the building trades in the Teamworks competition. They placed first. That's Sam Albert, Joe Lincolnhoker, Mason McCroskey, and Aiden McLaughlin. Internetworking, first place, Liam Ralph. Fantasy Mannequin, first place, Jazzy Harris. Fantasy Mannequin, fourth place, Kirsten Truman. Fantasy Mannequin, seventh place, Lindsay Akers. And Fantasy Mannequin, 10th place, Eden Young. And Auto Maintenance and Light Repair, first place, Tucker Bostic. Those that I just shared with you will have the opportunity to compete at the state level, Skills USA competition in April. Also want to recognize Nail Care, Rosin Kamas, third place, and Auto Service Technology, second place, Max Martin. So congratulations to all those students for the recognition and the hard work that they have shown for that competition. Want to also recognize Michael Little and Abby White. They represented Giles High School in the state indoor track meet a couple weeks ago as well. And Abby White placed 7th in the 300-meter dash, which qualified her for all-state honors, so congratulations to her. Narrows High School also had congratulations to Carson Krieger and Aiden Tiller. They represented Narrows High School at the state indoor track meet as well, and Carson Krieger placed 8th in the triple jump, which qualified him for all-state honors as well. So congratulations to them for that recognition also. Let's see. And I believe, I don't remember, I think, Mr. Buckland, I don't know, I think you mentioned Camden Newby at the last board meeting.
I did.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we recognize him for finishing third in the Virginia Regionals for International Choreography Bee, which qualified him for the National International in June. So good luck to him as he moves along.
Pretty darn big deal.
I thought you did, but I wanted to make sure. Also, want to congratulate those students that were recently inducted into the National Honor Societies at both Giles High School and Narrows High School. Giles did theirs on February 22nd, and I believe Narrows High School's was last week, if I remember correctly. As you know, we held a TSA competition, the Blue Ridge TSA Fair, Regional Fair at Narrows High School this past Saturday. Want to congratulate all the students that placed in that competition. And there is a link currently on our Facebook page to recognize those students and recognize all those students, but I'm going to take the opportunity to kind of go through them all if the board will allow me that time. Under board game design, second place from Narrows High School, Kendall Condry, Casey Duncan, John Frazier, and Owen Helmendollar. Third place under board game design at the high school level, Giles High School, Sophie Batten, George Black, Ellie Campbell, Elise Easter, and Emma Reynoso. So congratulations to them. Career Prep Middle School, first place, Bryn Jones, second place, Jack Buckland, third place, Allison Buckland, fourth place, Kaylin Buracker, fifth place, Brooklyn Skidmore. All those students are from Narrows Elementary, so congratulations to them. Community Service Video, Middle School. First place, Allison Buckland, Bryn Jones, Athena Link, and Brooklyn Skidmore. They're from Narrows Elementary, Middle School. Debating Technology Issues, High School. First place, Jackson Layton and David Taylor, Narrows High School. Second place, Isabella Spicer, Nicholas Thompson, Narrows High School. Digital Photography, Middle School. Second place, Rebecca Farmer from Narrows Elementary Middle. Fourth place, Bailey Reed from Eastern Elementary Middle School. 5th place, Hayden Clark, Nares Elementary Middle, and 8th place, Meredith Lucas, Eastern Elementary Middle School. Let's see, make sure I don't forget it. Entrepreneurs, extemporaneous presentation, high school. First place, Jaden Songer. Second place, Joshua Mitkiff. And third place, Abby McCoy, Giles High School. Fourth place, Avery Smith, Nares High School. Fifth place, Trevor Rhodes, Giles High School. And sixth place, Ian Graham, Nares High School. Flight Middle School, Kirsten Buracker, Nares Elementary Middle. Second place, Morgan Owens, Nares Elementary Middle. High school essays on technology. Second place, Alyssa DeLong, Nares High School. Elizabeth Chapman, third place. And Aaliyah Palmer, fourth place. Both of them from Nares High School as well. High school video game design, first place. Paul Pitzer, Benjamin Poe, and David Taylor from Nares High School. Music production, high school. First place, Jackson Layton, Isabella Spicer, and Nicholas Thompson, Nares High School. Prepared presentation, first place, Layton Dudding. Second place, James Vaden, both from Giles High School. And third place, Aaliyah Palmer from Nares High School. STEM animation, middle school. First place, Ariana Klein and Delilah Moeller Carr, Nares Elementary Middle School. And structural engineering at the middle school. Second place, Raylan Allen and Noah Minnick from Nares Elementary Middle. And fourth place, John Cottle and Preston Mitchell, also from Nares Elementary Middle. So congratulations to all those students. The students that placed, that I mentioned, are eligible to move on to what they call the Technosphere State Competition that's being held in Hampton the first week of May. So I want to wish them good luck as they move forward. Also want to thank and put a shout out to our STEM facilitators that provided amazing support and encouragement to our students and staff at all the schools to get them involved in this TSA competition for the high school and middle school levels. And those STEM facilitators are Pam Tegelman Malabad, Bryce Burrell, Jennifer Shrewsbury, Courtney Tuggle, Abby Taylor, Leah Witt, and Dawn Schrader. I also want to thank Paula Tibbs and Mrs. Mustaine for their work in getting that set up and scheduled as well. It was a great activity. It was neat to see some of the things the students were doing and look forward to being able to host it again next year and see how it grows. I also want to congratulate Jack Buckland, 6th grade student at Nares Elementary Middle School. Jack will again serve as the president of the Blue Ridge region for next year, 23-24. Congratulations to him. And congratulations to John Cottle, 6th grade student at Nares Elementary Middle School. Also, he will serve as the vice president for 23-24 school year. So that's a great.
He did a great job speaking too when he did the introduction and stuff. He did a really good job.
And if you think about it, they're up there debating or presenting in front of. It's
I think it might be another lawyer.
Oh, God help it. Hope not.
Also want to take the opportunity to thank Senator Hackworth. He came to Giles County on Tuesday, visited Eastern Elementary Middle School to read I Love Strawberries for Ag in the Classroom or Ag Literacy Week this week. Brought 2 plants of strawberries and I think 4 strawberry plants as well for the students to kind of watch, see how the plants grow as well between now and the end of the school year. So I want to thank him for coming also. And thanks to Jessica, I think she already left, for her presentation for the board for the educational feature. And I think, otherwise, I think we are going to try to start working on getting open enrollment scheduled for health insurance. We've heard Jared Blue's insurance rates aren't going to increase, but we had health insurance, we did have minimal increases for dental. It'd probably be $1 or so per. So we'll work on that and get that scheduled probably starting beginning first part of April. that's it, I think, what we need now. Dates? Okay.
We're gonna do final comments first. You
No,
wanna
I'm
get,
sorry, yes, you can do that, I'm sorry.
Philip, you wanna start with final board comments?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, as always, I'd like to thank Dr. Arbogast, Ms. Mustang, Mr. Brown, and Ms. Amanda for all the hard work they do for us, everybody down here at the school board office, all of our teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, anybody that has anything to do with school, just thank you for all the hard work you do. I know you get tired of hearing me say it, but I'm gonna thank you anyhow, so. But, I'd like to congratulate all the students that Dr. Arbogast just read over there a while ago for the last 10 minutes. Thank him for doing that, appreciate it. Congratulations to all the indoor track athletes, technology center, the skills contest. And me and Mr. Steele got a little reason to brag about the National Honor Society, both of our youngest got inducted into it. I don't know where mine got all these smarts from. I'm gonna take credit, but, cause she's not here, but, I'm gonna take credit for that, but, yeah, just like to thank everybody and, just wish all of our sports teams a good year in spring sports this year and hope everybody does good. But just keep up the good work and appreciate everything you do.
I don't think there's anything, no. Again, what Philip said, I want to thank everybody from the board office and all the way down, all of our, everybody, like you said, that deals with our kids. I appreciate it. Special thanks to Nares Elementary. I got to go there today as the board rep, and it was very nice. I got to see a fashion show put on by the preschoolers, which was amazing. I mean, they really just, their little personalities was just coming out, and they had the red carpet, and they were doing their little thing, but she does a great job, well, all of them, her aides and everything, but the preschool program is just phenomenal. It's very important, so I enjoyed it so much, and of course, the cinnamon rolls is always a plus. So I got a whole pan of cinnamon rolls, thank that, and some letters and cards, so I appreciate that, and appreciate Nares Elementary for having me. And again, kind of echo on what Dr. Arbogast said about the STEM, the TSA thing. I had the privilege of being there Saturday. It was very nice getting to see what the kids do, and I love that our kids in the county are just getting so involved with that. You can tell they put a lot of time into it, and all the teachers that help them, and they get really excited. You know, I always said that with mine, I should have got them involved with STEM instead of sports. They'd be a lot easier on their bodies, that's for sure. But other than that, just keep up the good work, and we're winding down here on the school year. It's hard to believe, so I just appreciate everything everybody's doing.
Before you go, Mr. Weber, and I forgot to thank Mr. Bowles and his staff for inviting me down for lunch in February. Appreciate it. And all the students that give me cards, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so. One more, I forgot. I did forget. All the basketball teams, the sports awards. I mean, there's a big list, but Giles Nares, just congratulations to all those athletes that's worked hard and got those awards.
Well, I've never been inducted to National Honor Society. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even let me watch it go on. They shut the door on me. I was invited to be honored at the Giles High School, but I've had like 2 surgeries and 14 hospital visits, and I haven't got to go there yet. Maybe I never will. Congratulations to the Votech kids on their accomplishments. They do a lot of great things out there, and I'm telling you, spring is here, and everything is happening so fast, it seems, and cold weather. I've been on the softball field and the wind blowing. I know what those days are like. But I also know that it means graduation is here almost. It's right around the corner, so. But thanks again for everybody that's doing the hard work. Again, thanks for everybody, so. Buck.
Yeah, I kind of echo the thoughts that everybody else has had there. I do want to specifically thank, Macy, Mr. Simmons, everybody there. I went over there, I guess, last week of February and had lunch, and got a tour around the building, and it's always a great thing. It's always one of the favorite things to do every February, to get to go and see different school and have a little lunch and see what's going on. Also want to, hate that Emily and I had to divide and conquer Saturday. Wyatt had basketball, and of course Jack had the TSA. So I didn't get to go over to the high school and see the TSA competition, but the amount of work that our staff put in to get that, I know, like you said, Paul and Ms. Mustang, along with everyone else at the school level, running 2 buildings on Saturday, that was a lot to ask, and they did well. You know, I've heard nothing but good things from those that attended, and you know, I'm glad that we're able to do that. It's heartening to see our kids competing and doing well in that. So hopefully the spring continues and that we get through the school year on positive notes.
All right, and I will also thank Eastern Elementary School for inviting me to tour the facility. Jason took me to every room. We looked at all the different activities, and the kids, whether they were coached or not, were all being very attentive. Nobody was standing on desks. You can tell they're still battling to get back to normalcy, and the teachers, as SOL testing dates come up, just want to give my shout out to them, because nothing's normal yet, and it won't be for a while, as Brian said, and the community expects them to get it right back where it was in short time, and it's just not a reasonable request. So they're fighting and doing the best they can for the students. Eastern Elementary, appreciate you inviting me. Give just a couple of comments on an event that Mr. Buckland and Dr. Arbogast and I attended this week. It was a regional hot topic with all different school divisions there, and they had some presentations about different things. And I don't know about Mr. Buckland and Dr. Arbogast, but when we hear about what the other divisions are struggling with and what some of them don't have, we're really blessed with what we have in this school system. The Ag Lab was something that the Lee County folks have got, something that they're kicking off that's uses the goggles, and they can try to do stuff virtually. And that gentleman was very proud of what he had, but he said, hey, I just want to tell you that what the Ag Lab is incredible. What you guys do with that is awesome. And as rural as we are, we don't have something like that. So we'd love to learn about what you're doing up there. So what we do travels to other districts, and we should be proud of what we're doing to provide stuff for the kids. Lastly, a good feeling shout out to Miss Jamie Ross, one of our teachers at Macy, who decided that on top of teaching and on top of trying to keep kids safe in the lunchroom, that she would turn into a superwoman and jump up and save a choking child in short order, and made that happen seamlessly and didn't have to. So our teachers aren't just teaching, they're watching their kids at every stage. And so they are protectors and they're educators. And we should be very, very thankful knowing that when we drop our kids off that they're going to be taught and protected. And if they get choked, they're going to get saved from choke. So shout out to Miss Ross and all our teachers. So that's all I got.
And if I forgot to mention in the comments with the TSA, I want to make sure I thank all the judges, the community members and staff that came in as judges as well, because they gave up their time also to participate and work on that. So I want to thank them for that as well.
That's fun.
All right, Mark, not yet. We got to have dates.
We got it.
That's what
I'm ready.
I was getting a kick you.
Hello.
I mean, this is a first. I have nothing on my calendar.
Next board meeting would normally be scheduled for the third Thursday, would be April 20th.
That you,
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I have a
Sorry.
blank calendar for the first time in a long time. Well, I'll say that.
April 20th, good for everybody. That would come back to the 4:30.
You don't have to do it.
April 20th, 4:30.
Really, Melissa?
I mean, we don't,
Okay.
this is a first that we've all just been like,
I can't promise.
Work session, when would you like to try to do a work session?
How's 12 look?
we can do that,
When do you think?
the 12th.
Wait, Wednesday, April 12th. Yeah, we'll have a special ed, special ed has a meeting that afternoon here. I don't know how many people are gonna be here. If there'll be enough room to do it in that small room or not.
What time is that?
2 o'clock.
Can we do it
wanna do a
early?
morning work session?
Can we do, yeah,
It's up to y'all. If y'all wanna do it in the morning, that's.
11 o'clock maybe?
11.
Do it in the morning.
Days over.
Stevie's like, that's not morning,
No.
Do it.
that's brunch.
Can we do 9,
Well, nine's
Mr.
good.
Wilbur?
Nine's good.
9,
9 a.m. on April 12th.
got it.
Everybody, that work for you, Jason?
Yes, sir.
All right. That is the best scheduling we've ever had.
Wow, that's what I said.
Verify with, as well, 1 o'clock.
On my calendar.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? We are adjourned.
David, how was your scrimmage yesterday in the cold? It was good?
Cold.
When you have your first game? Monday. Well, maybe it'll be warm. Doubtful, but.
I'll get you another goal put together sometime.
We just need a nap first.